So hi, welcome to the Hollywood Bible. I'm Stan Harrington, and today we're going to talk about the fine line. And by the fine line, I mean that point you reach when you've done pretty much everything. All the things we've talked about in this series about being specific, about having perspective, putting together the theory and the practice. If you're an actor, you've done the rehearsals. If you're a writer, you've done all the different drafts. Or if you're a musician, you've done the different versions of the song. And you've reached this point where the idea that you're trying to communicate or you're trying to express to an audience has come a full circle. And you're walking this fine line between the two different views on that idea. That, my friends, is real art, because that's a truer reflection of life. Now, let me explain what I mean by that. We've all heard that saying that there's a fine line between two opposites, whatever they are, pleasure and pain, or crazy and, or what is it? Clever and stupid, as they say in Spinal Tap, if you've seen that film. That's the way life works, guys. Life works on levels and with dimension. And when you just do the surface stuff, you can't really affect your audience. The audience doesn't relate to it in the same way or on a deeper level. We did talk about in another episode about the actor who gets the audition and then studies the monologue. When he has the whole script, he doesn't read the rest of the script. That is working on the surface. Because if you don't have a context of why you're saying it, you don't know how to really present that authentically. Now, why do people do this? It's because it's the stuff that they hear. They'll hear a casting director say to them, oh, just don't act, just be real, whatever that means. Or even a teacher, a bad teacher, who will say, oh, it just doesn't sound authentic. That's not enough. It can't just sound authentic. It has to be authentic. And it's not going to be authentic if you don't know why you're saying what you're saying. Of course, you can fluke it and make a mistake. And a lot of these people that work on the surface, they work and they're clever and they're entertaining, but it's not enough to be just entertaining or clever. What you want to do to separate yourself from everyone else is to be unforgettable. And that's what we want to talk about. When we get back from this break, we'll talk about being a memorable artist. Be right back. The Hollywood Bible is now available worldwide, guys, on Amazon, on Kindle and in paperback. But if you're like me and you don't really want to open up a device on a plane or in bed or on Hollywood Boulevard, get the paperback. It's got a little bit more information than the actual streaming series, and it makes a great gift if you know someone who wants to get into the business or be an artist. So fortify your soul, your spirit, yourself, and your dreams, and get yourself a copy of the Hollywood Bible, huh? So we talked about how doing all the work and adding context and being specific brings you down to this point in an idea where you've gone full circle and you're looking at the two different opposites, and that's where the true art is. When you can walk your audience on that line, where they're looking at your work, either you're performing it or you offered it up as a song or a piece of literature, and they're looking at it and they're wondering, hang on a second, is this guy the villain or is he really the hero? Is this love or is this hate? Is this guy paranoid or does this guy really have instinct? That's where you can really affect your audience. But when you add your own context, you could miss the whole thing. And that's why it might be clever to be able to do that monologue that actor did without reading the whole play and missing the context that was intended by the writer. And it's definitely arrogant, but it's not necessarily authentic just because it sounds real. Just because it sounds real doesn't make it real. Because I can say I love you probably 1,000 different ways. I can say it authentically, I can say it begrudgingly, I can say it as a matter of habit as I walk out the door. I could say it as a lie. Now, unless you've read the beginning of the script, how do you know what the intention is there? You're just adding it yourself. And that's why I say there's an arrogance to that, which the author didn't intend. And you'll never get down to the nitty-gritty or that fine line of the ideas unless you actually find out what the real context is, because these people are artists. They know who they're writing for. I was listening to the radio on the way up here, and they were playing love songs. There's love songs on the coast. It's where people call in and they request a song. It's because they have a context and they have a reference for that song, a memory or something that reminds them of a place or a time, and they're trying to communicate with someone with that song. Now, the people that write these songs know who their audiences is. Quite often, they've had the same experiences themselves, whether it be being jilted or losing somebody or somebody moving away, or a pleasant experience that they're trying to remind somebody of. The context is crucial. And you have to apply the context that was intended by the writer, otherwise you're disrespecting the art and you'll never get to that fine line. Otherwise, if we were all just working on one level and we're all just working on what sounds good, we never would have got out of damn radio. Go figure. We'll see you in a sec.
Come join the Stella Adler family of great actors, writers, directors, and producers.
Stella Adler has produced the finest actors that we have today.
Brando, De Niro,
Selma Hayek,
Benicio del Toro,
Sean Astin,
Susan Sarandon,
Henry Winkler in The Fonz.
Warren Beatty. What more do you need?
We're very proud of what has been accomplished.
People come from across the United States and around the world to the Stella Adler Los Angeles.
It's a technique that you can actually learn. It's a technique that you can actually understand. It's a technique that's actually doable.
So we hope to see you soon.
They really know what they're doing.
The fine line is about distilling all the contradictions of life, all the opposites, the love, the hate, the black, the white, the rich, the poor, all into one image or one sound. It's not as simple as just what sounds authentic or what looks authentic. That's too simple. Life isn't that precise. Otherwise, why have painters? Why have poets? Let's throw out Manet, Monet, Wordsworth, Tennyson, all these people, you know? We could just do a photograph. If you want an image that's an exact replica, if you want precision, let's just have a photograph. Life is interesting because it has all those layers and all those opposites and all those contradictions. And when we distill it all into that fine line, into that one image or that one sound, that's when we get a true reality. That's authentic. Reality and truth. Reality and truth. Reality and truth. That's what any artist wants, is just reality and truth, and to make it digestible and relatable for an audience. And that's why walking the fine line is something that we all aim for, because it's a sign that we've done the work and we've got to pure art. And the perfect example of those two opposites we were talking about is our own lives, because our lives are unique to us and our experiences are unique to us, but at the same time, they're universal, because the experiences could be getting married, getting divorced, somebody passing away, buying a dog. All those things could happen to anybody, but how we react to it is very unique. And this is why earlier on we said the actor who took a piece that he was supposed to read and inserted his own context in it was being arrogant, because it wasn't written for him. If it was written for him, it would be a different story. But when you take a piece and you insert your own reality into it, your own context into that piece, then you're sucking up space. And you're sucking up space from the audience that it's intended for to be able to insert themselves into the experience and relate to it in their way. Because they can't relive your experience. It was unique to you. When you insert your truth or you impose your truth on them, that's not art. That's something else. It's not just arrogant, it's control. And we're talking about control versus truth. I'm Stan Harrington. This is the Hollywood Bible. We'll see you again.